Welcome to Best Ball Bros! I'm Matt.
I'm Aaron.
Welcome back to the third episode. Today we're going to be covering quarterbacks.
Yep.
But first, a little bit of news and notes. Aaron, you got anything?
Well, this is 4th of July week, so go ahead and say Happy 4th of July to everybody. And
Happy 4th!
no fireworks shenanigans. Keep all those digits, please. Also, you sent me this earlier today, so I will gladly hijack this one because we are happy to announce we have another Thicc 6 to celebrate.
Toronto Argonauts. Put one on the board with the big boys.
Yeah, Ryan Hunter. Thank you, sir, for representing all of us Thicc boys and getting a Thicc 6.
Beautiful leak into the flat. Love it.
Touchdown!
Okay, so that's really kind of all the news this week because it is the quiet season and it's best ball, so we're not going to talk about kickers.
Yeah, no kickers. Jettison them off the planet from my fantasy roster, please.
Okay, and after that, we really want to make this the quarterback episode. Yeah. Talking about who we like, who we're taking, where they're at. So,
before we dive into that, Matt, give me your best or your go-to strategy if everything falls how you want to in a draft. How do you attack quarterbacks?
This year feels perfect for a late-round quarterback, in my opinion. It's just there's so many good names late, and they keep falling further and further. I've, in a couple drafts, have paid up for a Josh Allen and a Lamar, and it just didn't feel right to me.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we both like late round quarterback. Just from overall umbrella view of it, if everything falls perfectly how I like, I love grabbing one of these middle late round mobile quarterbacks and then pairing him with maybe a second year guy that can make a shot and a real sturdy hand, somebody you know is going to go out there and at least throw touchdowns. I like trying to take that boom with a mobile guy and then really just covering the floor with some solid options late. But I'm with you in the same boat, late quarterback, if everything falls how I want it to. When it comes to depth on a roster, if you take an early quarterback, you're losing those depth pieces. Or if you take it early enough, one of those stud guys on your roster that I feel like, especially if you grab one of these mobile guys late, you can make up for that.
Not just to mention, there are some pretty decent veterans going late. We've seen Jared Goff going very late. We're not going to talk about him today. But Tua going very late if you believe in him.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, one of my names is Sam Darnold. He's going almost undrafted in some ways. He's going so low. I'm a believer. You may not be. I understand. This is just how this works. Some people are out here saying that Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson are going to be the best tag team, and other people are saying avoid.
So in a perfect draft, let's say you get your quarterbacks, you get your strategy, how you want to do it. Matt, who are you going for in drafts that you want on your roster?
I have stumbled on something recently that I'm actually really liking, where I have been taking Michael Penix, and he's going very late, and then taking Cam Ward, and then following up with Sam Darnold. So
that's interesting. Before we dive deeper, is that the full umbrella of guys, or do you have a couple other guys?
I have a few more. Drake May is very intriguing to me, and also McCarthy is set up for success this year. We're going to find out what he does, but he is set up for a lot of success with a very high-powered offense and an improved offensive line.
Okay, so with that group of guys, that Cam Ward's a new name we haven't even personally really talked about a whole lot. So what are your views on Cam Ward? How do you feel about him?
It's a little bit of a dart, and also C.J. Stroud kind of came out of nowhere. Cam Ward, there's been intriguing reports, and not only that, is at the tail end of a draft, pair him with Chig Okonkwo, who apparently, according to some reports in training camp, is his number one target.
Yeah,
so
I fell for that Chig hype a couple years ago.
But we've always talked about how tight ends are a very, very intriguing option for young quarterbacks.
Yes, I don't hate it. That's not a name we and you have really discussed, and he's definitely not on my board. I actually, not jumping too far ahead, have a different rookie that I like, but
it's a total dart. I could be wrong, but that's why I'm taking 3.
Well, that and to clarify, you're not taking him as your first quarterback.
Absolutely not, because Cam Ward, just quick ADPs. In Yahoo, he's sitting at 213. In Underdog, he's sitting at 165. In DraftKings, he's at 154. He's going late.
So, yeah, as a second or a third option.
Third.
Third I definitely don't mind. A third is when I usually like to take that shot on that rookie or that backup that might get some playing time because he's got quick feet. But just to cover the basis again, go ahead and give us your list of players one more time.
So, Drake May, in Yahoo, he's going at 106. Underdog, 117. DraftKings, 118. McCarthy, 128 at Yahoo, 128 at Underdog as well, and 118 at DraftKings. He's sharing a spot purely by rounding with Drake May. Penix on Yahoo, 151. Underdog, 146. DraftKings, 137. Cam Ward, 213 on Yahoo. Underdog, 165. DraftKings, 154. Finishing it out with Sam Darnold at 218 on Yahoo. Underdog, 179. DraftKings, 163.
See, I feel like that's a pretty solid list. We do have some names that are similar.
That's going to happen when you like late round quarterback.
Yes.
It's just kind of occurred to me. I didn't explain why I put Sam Darnold at the bottom of my draft.
Okay.
And it's...
No, please expand.
First off, he did great for the Vikings last year.
Okay.
He sat on the 49ers. He came to the Vikings, and now he's going to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be playing in a Kubiak system, which is not the same as a McVay system because Kevin O'Connell runs a McVay system. But they kind of rhyme. They're similar-ish. Kubiak, he likes his play action and throw deep. Kevin O'Connell loves him some deep ball. Sam Darnold definitely proved he can throw deep. He can throw with anticipation. He might have revived his career. I'm cheering for him. I hope so. I hope he did. So that's why I'm really enjoying taking him at the end of the draft, because he's almost a free pick every single time. There's nobody looking out to snipe you.
It is interesting to me that Minnesota's offense last year has us hyped about 2 separate quarterbacks this year for Minnesota with McCarthy, and you're a lot higher on Sam Darnold than I am. But
taking him at the end of the draft, really saying I'm high on him?
I mean, he's no Tyler Shuck. But
you want to bet on this?
So I do like it. I broke mine down a little differently.
Okay.
So maybe we can give everybody 2 different views on it. Basically, my starter tier, the guy I'm building the roster around, and then I have the guys I'm pairing.
Okay.
So the guys I'm starting, if I can get any of these guys as my starter, I'm super confident. I got Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, and Bo Nix. And Bo Nix has been the hardest one for me to grab because everybody's taking him a little earlier than they should. If we're talking ADP-wise, Yahoo, as we're learning together that their ADP gets a little goofy.
Yahoo is extremely weird. You guys are going to find out that later.
Even on Yahoo, the earliest is Bo Nix at 75. All of these guys are in the 80s, 90s. Herbert's going as late as 125 and Underdog.
Herbert seems like a lot of upside, and I would have put him on my list, but I didn't want too much overlap because we've talked about him a lot.
Yeah.
He's very intriguing. I like him too.
And what was that snippet of news earlier this week?
They're planning on putting in design quarterback runs.
When we talked about earlier, that guy that's a little bit mobile. I know some people think of Bo Nix and Justin Herbert as not mobile guys. But even last year, Bo Nix rushed for 430 and 4 touchdowns.
Nice.
And Herbert rushed for 306. That shows that they do, worst case scenario, a play breaks down, they can use their feet.
Well, I think with Herbert, it just comes down to his coach drafted an offensive lineman said, they can be weapons too.
Yeah. So I like those guys as my starters. I'll feel good about those. Now, my pairing options, I have 2 names that are pretty close in that ADP-wise that you would almost have to make a quick pick turn and pick them up either the round after or the round behind. And that's J.J. McCarthy. That's Drake May. We both have those names. Those guys, we haven't seen yet what McCarthy can do in that offense, but when you have the best receiver in football, if not the best receiver, number 2, you have all those weapons. You're high on Hawkinson. We've seen that's an offense that knows how to go.
It's worked with several quarterbacks now. And it's even worked in small stints with backup quarterbacks.
Drake May is more of a feeling pick. That offense has to do something.
They could only go up after last year.
You don't think of Vrabel as a offensive guy by any means, but what he did with Tannehill early when he got to Tennessee, it's not that Tannehill even has the same kind of game set that Drake May does, but it's more of like, so you can have quarterbacks that produce. I don't feel bad about that, and that's if I can make a quick turn on. But there's 3 guys that I like that we're getting super late. And I mean late 200s on some of these guys' ADPs. A lot of 150s, 190s, 185s. Stafford, you're getting him everywhere. You know what you're going to get with Stafford. As long as his back holds up, as long as he doesn't hit any other injuries. You got Puka Nacua. You got an offense that's willing to run the ball and spread the ball out. I love taking Stafford. He is, if we're talking about a solid floor to boost up your mobile guy, give me Stafford every day of the week.
I'd agree. He's a great pairing option.
Yeah, I love Stafford. We got Daniel Jones. Now, that's where it gets a little tricky because as of right now, Anthony Richardson is the starter in Indianapolis. But me and you have had these talks. Don't think that even lasts till Thanksgiving.
I've heard practice reports already that are saying that Daniel Jones is looking to be the starter already.
I mean, it's a competition already.
Yes.
I know that
so
much.
With Anthony Richardson, it's his shoulder, right?
Yes, shoulder.
With his shoulder injury, he got pulled a couple times last year. Barring fantastic improvement, kind of hard to argue that Daniel Jones might not take the job.
Yes. If anything, you will see games with him in it. You will see they've got to pull Anthony Richardson. He took a shot. I have Stafford starred because I feel like he is the perfect floor. I feel like Daniel Jones and this next name that I have to say separately for certain reasons.
Let's hear the last one.
My last name. For those listening, understand this. This is a prodigal son behind Lamar Jackson, behind a Teddy Bridgewater, which you should love being a Minnesota
Get on with it.
Okay. Tyler Shuck from the University of Louisville for your New Orleans Saints. He's going to shuck it, man. He's going to shuck it. Kellen Moore picked him.
Who is he even competing with to be the starter?
Spencer Rattler.
Not exactly a household name.
Well,
it's definitely not Flacco.
It's not Flacco.
It's not the ginger sniper.
Andy Dalton, we still love you too. It is Tyler Shuck. He will shuck it. You have Chris Olave. You have Alvin Kamara. You have Rashid Shaheed, who can just run nines like it's nothing else.
Chris Olave, I'm hearing from, I believe, Matt Harmon on Twitter saying that he was charting Chris Olave, and Olave was wide open, and they just never even looked his way.
Because they didn't have Tyler Shuck.
I just want you to know I'm cutting all of your heel shuck it puns.
No,
I'm cutting them all out.
Shuck it, baby. Shuck it.
I have the power of edit. It's getting cut.
Tyler Shuck, he's the last guy. I feel confident grabbing him last. You got Kellen Moore coming in there, building an offense. He picked Tyler Shuck to build that offense, and I'll take those points late if I can. So no, I don't mind taking him late, having him as my third quarterback, then my second option, along with Stafford or Daniel Jones or Tyler Shuck.
I can get it. That's why I've been pairing Penix, Cam Ward, and Darnold. I've done it a few times now, and I'm actually really liking it because I think Penix is going to throw all over the yard.
See, the only thing that scares me about that particular strategy is those are some names that we don't have solid evidence that they can do it for a full season.
True, but Penix, I just believe in him, man. He came at the end of the year. He was shaky in a couple games, but also he had some bright spots. Those weapons are intriguing to me, and I think they're going to throw everywhere.
We might have to pick later in a next episode teams that just seem like dumpster fires. And I know we kind of did that with teams we're nervous about, but that was more of like an upside episode of like, yeah, they can be this, but we're really nervous about them.
Yes.
Indianapolis might just be a dumpster fire. And it sucks because they have Jonathan Taylor, they have Josh Downs, they have the rookie tight end that we like. Anthony Richardson was supposed to be everything you wanted him to be.
They rushed him in.
Yeah.
We touched on it last week, but they're rushing these quarterbacks in way too quick.
Well, it's a new NFL. You got to show me what you can do come week 3, damn near.
Yeah, but at the same time, Geno resurrected his career. Look, I'm not saying that he's the quarterback you want to have, but he resurrected his career. Now Sam Darnold possibly looking like he might have resurrected his career.
All I'm hearing is names that quarterbacks that got out of the Jets organization and are doing better. So maybe Zach Wilson needs to get a new contract somewhere.
For his sake, I hope he does. Then we can see the Mormon missile out there slinging it somewhere else.
Miami.
I think we talked about this once before, but that would be a super fun trade. If they were to trade him, that would be hilarious to watch him throw into Tyreek and Waddle.
It'd be fun. So, all right, guys, we're going to get our stuff together to get this draft going. We are doing Yahoo today, correct?
Yes, doing Yahoo. We'll pre-warn you. We've done a few drafts with Yahoo now. It's goofy. There is a huge run on running backs immediately. If you don't take 2 running backs before round 4, you are struggling at the end.
Yes, and just deep diving a little bit in it. That's it looks like that's a scoring. Well, that and 17 roster spots that's going to be my biggest hiccup.
Yeah, that's a little weird, but I think it's also 17 spots because there's only 10 teams in a draft.
Oh, okay.
Compared to 12 in most other places.
But if we're building rosters that way on Yahoo, we almost go 2 quarterback, 2 tight end.
That's what I did. We're going to go ahead and pause for the draft, and we'll come back when it starts. Okay, welcome back in after that lengthy hiatus you guys didn't have to sit through. So scoring for Yahoo is half PPR, 6 points per receiving touchdown, 6 points for rushing touchdown. But you'll find out in this draft, running backs go early. We've both found this out, and we are perplexed why it is this way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like the old school thought process. Grab your running backs and figure the rest out, and that's just not how I like to play fantasy anymore. Good news is, or bad news, it feels like we're at pick 4 again in yet another draft that we do.
Yep, we're staring Justin Jefferson in the face. I like it, but unfortunately we're going to have to take some running backs late. Draft starting in 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. Draft begins, 30-second picks. Well, again, we have pick 4. We're staring at Justin Jefferson. Bijan Robinson maybe might fall to us at 4. I don't mind doing that, doing a hero ball kind of build with that.
I've done it a lot with Yahoo now because it almost forces you to take running back earlier or else you are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Here we go. Justin Jefferson's going to be our first pick.
Lock it in.
Yep, I don't hate that one bit. So who are we looking at possibly for our next pick?
A.J. Brown, Brock Bowers, A-Chain, Jonathan Taylor, around that area.
Doing a Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown stack sounds killer. So if we're looking at that, who would be at the turn then? Kyron?
Oh. Possibly, but like I said, these running backs go fast.
Yeah. But still, if we're playing hero ball and have Kyron as our first running back, I don't mind that. We're going to be the biggest Kyron Williams supporters.
Kyron is just our safe space. And
he's our super safe space. Just not feeling it.
We are looking at Brian Thomas Jr., Jonathan Taylor, or A.J. Brown,
Drake London. No, Brian Thomas Jr. is there. We are taking him right now. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we are going to have to figure out our running backs later. But the good news is that this one you only have to play 2 running backs, and then there's a flex position. There's a lot of running backs that are going, it seems, later than they're supposed to. Kyron just went off the board.
Ah, boo. That's who I was hoping would fall.
In the second round, middle of the second round. Like, he's falling to 3rd round in DraftKings.
If Drake London falls down, I'd rather have Chase Brown than James Cook.
I was going to say, we might have to reach down the board to take
Well, there goes Chase Brown.
Oh, no.
Drake London. Take Drake London.
Okay, we are going completely upside down to everybody else. We've just taken 3 stud wide receivers. Love to see that on your roster. Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas, and Drake London. But we are going to be figuring out running backs late.
But James Cook is still there. Breece Hall, Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara.
Probably going to have to overdraft Kamara just to make sure we get somebody we like.
Brian Robinson Jr. is a guy we can grab late and feel confident with.
I'm going to start starring some guys we like.
So Chuba Hubbard, I definitely like. Alvin Kamara.
James Conner.
R.J. Harvey. Aaron Jones.
Okay, so we've got some guys queued up that we like for running back.
How far away are we? 6 picks. So we might be able to get away with Chuba Hubbard and Alvin Kamara at this turn.
We'll find out. Oh, yeah. Well, I was way down the board.
Yes,
we can
you were.
absolutely go Chuba Hubbard and then Kamara following him up. Assuming nobody jumps at Kamara when they see another running back go off the board.
We got our 3 receivers right now.
We got 3 studs.
Trey McBride. I like it, but
I'd rather have Kittle. So Chuba Hubbard?
yeah, we'll reach down here and go Trevor Hubbard. He's the next running back on the board right now.
We need somebody.
Or Kenneth Walker. I didn't even see that name.
I like Kamara more, but
Yeah.
I won't be upset at Kenneth Walker.
With 10 team, I feel like we should be able to get away with taking tight ends late.
Okay.
Come on, Alvin
Kittle's
Kamara.
still on the board.
But we're taking Alvin Kamara.
Done.
So let's pull up that roster. We got Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, Chuba Hubbard, and Alvin Kamara. That fills
Those are all of our starting positions. None of them share a bye.
with these positions. I don't worry about bye as much.
I wouldn't either, except for the fact that there's only 17 roster positions.
Yeah. With this, we have 2 very solid running backs. We have 3 stud receivers. So for this next pick, I almost want to just look at the board and say this. We're going to go with the best guy we see here. Samuel Porta, Tony Pollard, Omarion Hampton, Devontae Smith right there. I like Devontae Smith.
We'll find out what falls to us. If Chris Godwin keeps falling, I really like him.
Yeah, this little bunch of receivers right here, Chris Godwin, Jamison Williams, Devontae Smith, any of those 3 I like, especially as your 4th option. Any interest in Sam Laporta as tight end 1?
With George Kittle still on the board, I would take Kittle over Laporta.
George, well, there he goes.
Now Kittle goes off the
We were 1 away.
Chris Godwin on the board.
I want Devontae Smith more than I want Chris.
We'll take Devonta Smith because I've been taking Chris Godwin a lot in a lot of drafts, and so we'll do something a little different. Change it up. 6 picks away. Pacheco.
I like that. How far?
How about Olave or Aaron Jones?
I think with this pick, it's between Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, or Pacheco. Rumor mills, Pacheco is getting back into form, and it's going to be his backfield to lose this year.
Brian Robinson Jr. looking to be around our pick after that. Are you sure you're not interested in taking a wide receiver?
We're almost building a balance build now.
A little bit. Pacheco falls off the board.
Yeah, there goes Pacheco.
2 picks ahead of us.
Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, kind of the receiver. What do you think about taking a shot on Rome Odunze here?
I like him. But then we're going to really have to hope that Brian Robinson Jr. falls to us. He's slotted for our next pick.
And we're up. So, quick pick, Caleb Johnson, the rookie, or Aaron Jones.
I've never gotten Caleb Johnson, and so I'm willing to try something new.
So, we're coming up on the turn.
We're slotted to go at 77.
I love Brian Robinson Jr. there, man.
If he's still there, I'll agree to take him.
I know I'm not going to be able to talk you into Bo Nix.
No. I just think Penix is going to have a lot better year than Bo Nix. I always went towards taking a dominant tight end, but this year it just seems I might stray away from it a little bit.
I feel like me talking you into late tight ends is starting to work.
A little bit, especially with T.J. Hawkinson just falling off the board.
There goes your guy.
There goes my guy. So you can talk me into a Brenton Strange and a few other guys late.
Who's just above? So Tedero and McMillan's right above where we would be drafting. Travion Henderson. Besides Drake May, I don't know any piece I want in New England.
And plus, I just hate taking New England running backs. New England running backs, it seems like Belichick never left the room. They're still doing weird stuff when it comes to running back. We are 2 picks away.
2 picks away. Brian Robinson Jr.'s
still on the board.
Yeah, getting him here. And then I feel like we could just take 2 late shots at running back.
We're next, assuming he doesn't get sniped. Got him queued up, ready to take him. And Calvin Ridley goes off the board, so let's take Brian Robinson Jr.
Not to jump too far ahead. I really like it.
It's hard not to like this roster with these great wide receivers we got.
So what do they have slotted for us right now?
In 4 picks, Jerry Jeudy.
Bo Nix. Can I talk you into Bo Nix for this roster?
Baker Mayfield is sitting right above him right now. I would rather have a Baker than a Bo Nix.
A Baker would be...
Me personally, it's a little too early for a quarterback, but Baker had himself a year last year.
We're up in 2 picks, so who else around here? Justin Herbert is...
Unfortunately, not a lot that I like. Khalil Shakir down the board. It's actually right where we're going to pick next.
Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield. I've taken a lot of my picks in this draft, so why don't we give you Baker Mayfield?
He's not my quarterback, but it's hard to argue with ADP sitting right in your face.
Me and you also have talked about, we don't love love using ADP. You just kind of use it as the guideline, but
I like to go chase my guys, but Baker, it just doesn't seem like that offense is going to miss a beat.
Oh, you hope not. So we talked before the draft. We're thinking about doing a 2 quarterback, 2 tight end build.
Yeah.
So Baker Mayfield's bye week is week 9. So we need to keep that in mind when we're looking at our second quarterback.
So
Ricky Pearsall is down, slotted kind of next our next pick. Juwan Jennings also. I kind of like both those options, honestly. Not together. Tank Bigsby's there late.
The 49ers, there's a lot of doom and gloom about that offense, but there's a possibility with Debo gone, CMC looking healthy. Maybe that offense is a surprise to everybody and takes off.
That and Ricky Pearsall did finish the year strong.
Pearsall just
so strong that somebody jumped
right in front
ahead.
We're up in 2 picks.
2 picks. Okay, so we might be able to get Juwan Jennings on the turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we go Shakir here and then Juwan Jennings, I super like that.
Okay. Although we'll probably miss out on Tank Bigsby.
I don't mind missing out on Tank Bigsby.
Okay.
He's a guy I like.
Here's we're locking it in?
Yeah. Let's go Shakir and then
locked in.
Hope that Juwan Jennings falls to
Now,
it.
that was round 10 for us. Starting round 11, we're going to need to look at tight ends.
Tight ends eventually,
and our
yes.
backup quarterback.
Justin Herbert's still there.
Backup quarterback, we need somebody other than week 9. There's a lot of names on the board still.
I mean, McCarthy's still there. Stafford's still there.
Penix
all the way down at 5.
He's being slotted at 151 on their board.
By week 5. Baker, Justin Herbert. I think I like Juwan Jennings more than I like doubling up on.
Just so we get a piece of that 49ers offense.
So if these quarterbacks do keep falling the way that they're falling, maybe we'll go ahead and grab the second quarterback.
Jennings locked in.
Go ahead and grab that second quarterback with the way that they're falling, and then we'll almost double up tight end. Zach Ertz is there. Hunter Henry. Tyler Warren. I like all these guys. Brenton Strange is a guy.
All right. Definitely going to cue Warren. And
now, if we grab Warren, I almost want to grab 3 tight ends. With him being the rook. Hunter Henry.
So we've got some late round tight ends that we've got starred to look at.
Tank Bigsby's also still
on the board. If we take Tank, that'll probably finish us out for running back.
We have 4 running backs right now. I'd like 6 for the roster. So, but I mean that's for sure. We could take a super late running back just as a shot. Drake May still there too. Brock Purdy, Darnell Mooney's down at our next pick.
Up in 2 picks. A little mini run on quarterbacks going on.
Yeah, I had a feeling that would
Purdy,
happen when
May.
Yeah, when those names start falling down the board like they are.
Somebody took Warren.
We're up, and Tank Bigsby is still there.
5 picks left for this roster.
How about Jake Ferguson, the tight end for the Dallas?
We've still got Strange. We've still got Otten. We've still got Henry going a lot later. And I think they're comparable to Jake Ferguson. Okay. Mooney last year was literally almost 1,000 yards. He was like 18 yards short of 1,000 yards.
I don't hate it. That he'd be our last receiver we take. So
I'm fine with it.
That's fine. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Now we really need to look at...
Probably go tight end, quarterback. Or tight end, quarterback, tight end, running. J.J. McCarthy. Jordan Love's still there. Trevor Lawrence is still there. Stafford. Like we were talking about earlier. Floor-wise, I feel like Stafford... Here's the thing. Michael Penix, especially with his mobility, might have a higher ceiling. But I think Stafford has a safer floor.
If we take Stafford, I would want a 3rd quarterback just because of his injury history.
I mean, we could do that. So our running backs are Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara, Johnson, the rookie running back for Pitt, Brian Robinson Jr., and Tank Bigsby.
Ooh, Luther Burden goes off the board.
It's a tricky name. And, Jake Ferguson's still there. Dallas Goedert's still there. Rico. Ooh. So we're slotted right now to take McCarthy. Is there a way to get McCarthy and then... Okay, so let's do that. Let's go Stafford here since he keeps falling. Or he's right after McCarthy. Do you feel like Stafford or McCarthy have a better floor?
Floor is probably Stafford, but JJ...
We could get this.
I'm not sure
we could get the JJ stack.
I'm not sure we need a floor with Baker. I'm not sure we need a guy to fall back on like a Stafford with Baker.
Do you want to go a JJ stack then?
I'd be pretty happy actually with the JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson stack. We're up.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. So we've got 2 quarterbacks. So quarterback, we are writing that off completely now.
Yeah, I feel like that's good.
So
we need tight ends. Let's go back-to-back tight end here, and then we'll finish it with a running back pick. Will Shipley's right there. Jaleel McLaughlin.
So you really like Shipley.
I like Shipley because of the Madden curse.
We've got a couple names highlighted.
We're up in 2 picks. So let's just see who's there right now.
But we're pretty much slotted to take 2 tight ends right now.
Yeah, Austin Eckler, but we have Brian Robinson Jr.
We need tight ends. Yep. We desperately need tight ends.
Oh, there goes Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz goes off the board.
Brenton Strange and Cade Otton. Okay, so maybe not a third running back. Maybe we grab 3 tight ends.
Our running back room is nothing to sneeze at. So, Brenton Strange?
Yeah, let's go Brenton Strange here. We have very quickly developed guys that we are taking everywhere.
A little bit, yeah. There are guys that we just can't stop taking.
I really like this roster.
But especially with it being a 10-team league, you're gonna
like your teams just a little bit more. So
kind of weird that Yahoo does 10-team instead of 12, but then their drafts already take forever to load to fill up. So if you had to wait for 12,
I feel like we were waiting for 30 minutes, if not longer, for that draft room to fill up.
It was a while. So
Cade Otton here.
Do you want to take Isaiah Likely? Or do you think with Brenton Strange, we're already kind of staring at a weird floor?
So who's below this? Man, there are not a lot of names.
No, it's not. We are going extremely late tight end.
Oh my goodness.
We're staring.
Are you going to try to talk me into Kyle Pitts again?
Look, we already took a guy that's all upside. I'm not sure I want to risk taking. Look, I'm only taking Kyle Pitts at the end because I like pairing somebody like a TJ Hawkinson with a Kyle Pitts so that if all of a sudden Kyle Pitts takes off and they're fighting for it, I feel good about it. Not sure I feel good about Kyle Pitts possibly having 3-point games and Brenton Strange also having 3-point games. So
fair enough.
I think we're definitely going to take Cade Otton with the next pick, and then we'll find out who's there after that. But we're looking at Isaiah Likely, Kyle Pitts, Cade Otton, and Chig Okonkwo.
So I guess take Cade Otton here. We're up in 4 picks.
3
now. Take Cade Otton here, and then we'll just look at the board.
Yeah.
And say best running back, best tight end, maybe a third quarterback, whichever.
You just said we needed to take 3 tight ends.
I know.
Considering.
I know, but none of these guys I like. None of these guys I feel like, I got to get this guy on my...
I don't hate taking Isaiah Likely with the last pick if he's still there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. That offense is run the ball and hit my big tight end in the middle. Mark Andrews is question mark after question mark. We'll have to see. So we're up.
Cade Otton. Taking him.
Please be decent for us this year, Mr. Otton.
Are we going to take Isaiah Likely or Chig Okonkwo? We're going to find out who falls to us. It's just that simple.
So scroll down. There's a name I want to maybe hit on. And if he's there, he might still be there. Let's see. Dalton Schultz, Jawan Johnson, Noah Fant, Tyler Conklin's a name that I kind of like down here.
I like Conklin.
Taysom Hill, he might not play a whole lot this year. Is Ben Sinnott on the board? Anywhere? Did somebody jump down and take... There he is.
He's right there.
So he's the backup in Washington, and Zach Ertz is testing father time to begin with. It's our turn.
We're up.
Isaiah Likely's still there. I feel fine taking Likely here.
Okay.
So just let's go ahead and pull up our draft board. Because, guys, we drafted 4th overall.
Yes.
This is now, granted, Yahoo is a 10-team league format, but I can super get behind this roster. Because we went McCarthy. This might be my favorite roster that we've done.
It's hard to compare it because
it is 10 team.
Because it's a 10 team.
It is 10 team.
But
man, this roster feels fun. The Brian Thomas Jr. falling to us as our second receiver is crazy.
With our wide receivers, it's a little insane.
I mean, Drake London's a guy that you're having to pay up early second round prices for, and we got him in the 3rd. Just to kind of recap, we drafted 4th overall. It's a 10-team league, half-point PPR. We got, at quarterback right now, we got Baker Mayfield, or we got J.J. McCarthy as our captain quarterbacks. Receiver-wise?
I feel good about it that neither of those two are going to... I don't think either of them are going to have extremely bad dud games, and I don't think the duds are going to line up.
Right. And then, I mean, just start with the juggernaut of Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, Devontae Smith. Those are our receivers. And we also got Khalil Shakir, Jawan Jennings, and Darnell Mooney in our receiver core.
You can't hate that wide receiver.
No.
Room.
And then the running backs, I don't hate that either. Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara, Johnson, the rookie for Pitt, Brian Robinson Jr., and Tank Bigsby. And we've had the discussion before. Tank Bigsby might be the number one in Jacksonville. So that's an awesome running back core to pair with that type of receiver core that we have.
I feel pretty good about this roster.
Tight end's going to be our weak spot.
The thing is, though, is that K. Dotton, he's a very safe floor. And then with Isaiah Likely and
Brenton
Strange, I don't think it's a bad room at all.
No.
Late round tight end is kind of growing on me with some of these names you're seeing late.
Oh yeah, especially when, and like we did this roster, you take 3 of them, you hope that the chance, especially in best ball, you just need your guy to catch a touchdown that week. So that's what you're hoping for. But guys, thank you again for listening in. Episode 3 was fun. I think next week we're going to go head-to-head again on Yahoo, especially with it being 10-team. I think we're going to be able to build some fun rosters with that.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back to Yahoo next week, go head-to-head, and then you guys can vote in the comments whose team you like more.
Yep. So thank you for listening in, and good night.
Good night.